This podcast series is brought to you by World of Coffee Dubai and DXB Live. Expand your specialty coffee brand into the fastest growing specialty coffee market in the world by becoming an exhibitor at the next World of Coffee Dubai in 2024. I will be there, so head to worldofcoffeedubai.com and join the mailing list to get notified when booth registrations become available. Check the show notes for further details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and I am joined today by my friend and colleague and brother, Nawar Adra from Stitch Coffee. Nawar, welcome back to the podcast for I don't know how many times now.
Regular.
You are a regular.
I'm like that guy who orders flat white every day,
Well, at some point, no doubt you'll be hosting the podcast, so that works well. So we just got back from World of Coffee Dubai, and we had an incredible time while we were over there. And we are going to record a series on the things that we learned about the future of the coffee industry from the Middle East, which is quite the surprise. And this is the first series of the year outside of World of Coffee, but we observed so much while we were over there, and we learned so much while we were over there that we think it's kind of worth breaking it down by category for the industry, cafes, consumers, the workforce, and whatever else we end up talking about, probably business models. But we were kind of blown away by what we saw over there, right?
100%. Yeah, it was, I think we've mentioned it before, but to like now being away for a few weeks, and back to the real life and going through the hurdles every day.
Uh-huh.
There was definitely a lot of lesson over there, and I guess it's an industry that is thriving to be the best at what it does, right?
Yeah.
So they have a pretty good master plan, I guess. I got a big leadership behind it. They're looking into, in Dubai, it's all about how do we do it so it's one of the best in the world, and I guess that was a very interesting because they support the industry through the whole, it's not just give money to somebody to invest in something, but also the way they do business over there is if you have a great idea or if you're trying to do something different, everybody will try to be part of it so they can help you and help the whole industry shift towards success.
You mentioned master plan. Like, I think we should probably tell people how, like, it's not like you've got SCA that's kind of looking over the whole thing. Like, it seems, I got the impression at least, well, we know this for a fact, I guess, there is an actual master plan that the whole industry is conspiring into for the success of the industry. Everybody wants to see the coffee industry succeed in Dubai, don't they?
I think Dubai is the kind of the stone, when you're building an infrastructure or you're looking for the foundation. So they're looking at Dubai as becoming the foundation of the acceleration of the whole specialty coffee. It's been there for a while. It's not something brand new, but I guess the adaptation process is taking off in the last couple of years or 3 years now. And it's taking off from consumers, which was very interesting
wild, right?
to see. Yeah. I've never seen so many pour overs or that is done. Maybe in Asia it's been happening for a while, but I guess being there in Australia, I think pour over seems to be taking off now a lot faster than before. But there they were really focusing on high-end coffee. They've got stigma when it comes to blends. So for them, blends is a low quality, so nobody want to touch it. It's quite interesting.
That's wild, right? Like in the West, that's how we build our espresso culture.
By blending and doing, a few different things together to get there. Over there is about, now we don't want blend, just give me single origin. I just want Brazil or Ethiopia or this. So it was a pretty I don't know if this is like I think blends can do a lot more as well. But it's cool to see they wanna look for that difference and they're looking for to become more of we are so serious about it. And they do have this consumer who is if they are stuck in something, they are like, I want to have it
Yeah.
regular and regularly. They're happy to spend whatever money it takes for them
Mhm.
to get what they want, which is kind of pretty cool. It's different.
When you say they're willing to spend whatever they want, do you mean the consumer or do you mean the businesses?
I guess it's a combination of both, but consumer is willing to pay for it,
Hmm.
and that give you as a business owner, I guess, the opportunity to go and say, well, if they're willing to do it, then I'm gonna supply it, right? Um, it does get to a point where it's a little bit like ego driven, it does get to the point where just call it something different. So for me to get exclusivity as well. So
Right.
it does have that little bit of kind of things that we are going through it sometimes, with exclusive coffee, not exclusive coffee. Do I want to
Hmm.
buy the whole lot or do I want to share it with everybody around me? So they are working their way around it as an industry. However, I believe another 2 to 3 years, I think they will catch up a lot, you know. There's a lot of challenges for them, I guess, which we might be talking a little
Yeah,
bit
no, go ahead and
furthermore.
talk about that because this episode is about the industry that's established over there and the future of, in my opinion, the way that they're setting up their industry over there is really functional because
Yeah,
it works well together on a high level, right? Like it's looking to go somewhere. Definitely has its challenges, and we'll talk about them in a second. But I think that if other uh, geographies can take a look at how that's happening and what they're doing and what the driving forces behind that are, I think even if we did it here in Australia, which we tried to do it like with the Sydney Coffee Town Hall, which was like, let's bring everyone together, let's get everybody thinking about what we want our long-term success to be. But our industry here is too fragmented. And I
mm,
don't know that we can fix that. In Dubai, I find that there's a lot more. There are forces. Shout out to Khalid Al Mullah, but there are forces over there that are trying to unify the industry. But it does have its challenges. And what
yeah.
challenges did you notice that existed in the industry?
I think the main challenge is um, the education part.
Okay,
I think
tell me more.
there's a lot of room. Again, like blend versus single. A little bit of that changeover in mentality,
Mm-hmm.
human resources. As much as they have human resources, but also there's a lot of challenge within their human resources as well. Um, I know they're trying to build a lot of that educational part, so it's happening, but they need a little bit more refinement in some places as well, which I guess there's a plenty of opportunities there to fix and to adjust as they're progressing and achieving the level that they want to get. Um, the main thing about the industry there, as you said, like they're trying to work it out together, which is quite fascinating. They price themselves really well as well. So from a pricing structure, they're pretty good at it. They're not looking at it, I want to be the cheapest possible. Of course, there's always people who are looking for that and they will be there, but you can see there's a lot more interest in putting the right price for the coffee they're serving
Mm-hmm.
rather than I just wanted the cheapest as possible. The consumer will never pay for it. I guess they
They
have
will.
that consumer. Yeah, they have that consumer who's willing to pay for it. And like a lot of people say, yeah, there's a lot of money there. Actually, is this I don't think the fact that they have a lot of money they want to do this. I think the fact that they also want to be seen doing certain
It's
things a
pride.
certain way.
They're,
You
they're
know what I
very
mean?
proud of
So
their industry over there, right?
Yeah. It's not just because I have shitload of money, I can go and do whatever I want. No, they're actually quite systematic,
Yeah.
and they do think. I mean, not everybody, but
Right.
some people that we spoke to,
Yeah.
they're smart in spending their money, not because they have it.
100%.
They mean they gotta throw it, and they definitely have a pretty good understanding of retailing. So slowly they like, coffee shops, opening few coffee shops, getting the word out there, multiplying their revenue stream as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them are green coffee importer and also roasters, and what I mean, they're trying to
Yeah.
do a lot. Their market is willing to adapt, so that's the different things. They got a really cool consumers that is willing to try something different, that is willing to, we like it or not, follow certain trends. But following certain trends is not a bad thing, because some trends are the right direction. For instance, ready to brew stuff or ready to drink
Yeah.
products.
Location. Location is very interesting, right? Like where it's situated with regards to the supply chain. Like it's right by Ethiopia, and it's a hub for a whole bunch of travel. People are usually
Yeah,
going through Dubai, which really does shift a lot of the logistics with regards to supply chain for the industry, right?
yeah, 100, and they're not just looking at it from, coffee shop or consumers.
No.
They actually have a wider vision,
Yeah.
where they're trying to build, they're trying to be, one of the biggest exporter of green coffee, also roasted coffee. And they're doing so by by building infrastructure over there, where it allow people, somewhere, a farmer in Ethiopia, Brazil, whatever they are, to send their coffee, get it roasted, get it processed, packed, shipped, palletized, ready to go anywhere in the world.
Mm,
That is a great service that is going to help, as you said, stakeholders
yep.
within the whole coffee industry. So they are definitely want to do an impact, and they look like they want to do a change. And that
Mm.
is backed by the government. So
This is
it's
where we
not
should
just individually. Yeah,
this is where we should talk about the DMCC and the free zone,
yeah,
because it's backed by the
exactly.
government, right? Like, go ahead, tell us about the DMCC.
I mean, DMCC was something I created in Australia, but on steroids. That's the difference. It's not a brand new concept, that's been around. But the exciting part is they are opening opportunities for people and farmers and whoever it is want to be part of the
Mm-hmm.
industry. It could be positive, could be negative, but however, from a positive perspective and used well, I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's the right word, not to just use it and go out in the market and cheapen the product, no, but use it really, really well. They're giving you infrastructure that no other country can
No,
give you, an infrastructure like this backed by a government that does not exist.
in a free zone.
In a free zone, zero tax. So the concept is you send your coffee green, or if you're a roaster, if you're a farmer, they get it to roast it the way you want it. And they've got, a team of roasters, irrelevant, commercial, not commercial. Put that on the side. This is all depends on your market anyway. And roasted and packing, and you doing nothing and just trying to find a consumer for
Mm-hmm.
your product. That's, I think this is fascinating. And they do have a success in tea. So as we learn, 50 to 60% of the tea gets sold in Australia get actually processed in the MCC, the tea version of the coffee. And I was like blown away, because the fact that they could have support from the government to help. And this is a wider
Mm-hmm.
vision. This is not a closed vision. Yes, they want to be the best. Who doesn't want to be the best? But at least they are helping other people in the plan. So not just themselves in
Mm.
a way.
And I think the part of it that really sung to both of us, and we kept commenting about this when we were there, it seems like they legitimately want to increase the quality of the industry. whether it's commercial or specialty, they don't care. Like, we spoke to Saeed, we spoke to Marco, and we had conversations with the folks at the DMCC about why they exist. Like, why are you here? What are you actually doing? And they're like, we're here to play the long game. We are here to facilitate the building of an industry, and we want to help people who come from outside. Again, folks, I want to be very clear. We are not getting paid to say any of this. We are talking about what we observed when we were over there. Nobody has paid us for any of our thoughts about anything we've said about Dubai. It just legitimately blew our minds away, the stuff that we observed while we were over there. And so it's kind of important that if you are thinking about what market you want to go into, that you know that this is available. This is an option that we will be considering for Elixir Specialty Coffee next year.
Yeah, definitely. It's again, it's just gonna help you penetrate without have to spend so much money setting up.
Yeah,
you know,
and good people.
Yeah, 100%. And we've seen a lot of people were doing some coffees there. Some other people were. It's like they're creating a nice little hub, as well. I must say, it does need a little bit of culture, a little bit of few little bits and pieces there. You know, it's not a perfect.
No.
It's a really good functional space.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. But it does require also a bit of a soft approach into a few little bits and pieces, I guess. But overall, like what
you mean
we've
from a
seen,
community perspective?
community perspective.
We didn't get to see that side of what existed from there. They have an education center over there. They have drip bag equipment. They have like many different size roasters.
They have all the functionality you need, you know.
But we didn't see community.
Yes, you know, like maybe that's something they're gonna improve on down the track. And remember, this is all new. You know, there's changes in leadership as well, and ideology. But as an industry, just so we can, you know, wrap up the concept of the industry, they are hungry. They are willing to do things. They want to have change, and they want to have a global impact, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the industry to watch moving forward. If there's people looking to cultivate an industry in their own local area, go and look at what's going on in Dubai, and listen to the podcast series from World of Coffee. There are a lot of people who can give you some insight into how they've done things. All right, 100%. In the next episode, we are going to talk about the cafes and what we observed about the cafes over there that was so different to the cafes that we've observed in other places around the world. And folks, I guarantee you this one is going to be very interesting as well. Alrighty. Peace, love, and peanut butter, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, this is what you should check out next.